Instead, she smiles.
No. No. Zach? Oh my god, this is frightening. What is wrong with you?
Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to The Letter. In the last episode, we continue in Zach's chapter. He goes and talks to Rebecca, and Rebecca tells him all the things that Isabella said before she had died. Ashton comes over and he says he's going to find out who did this. Rebecca walks away. And Zach gives Ashton the photos back of the state of how Isabella died. Zach mentions all of the writings in Isabella's apartment and that it could be due to the letter. And Ashton kind of just brushes him off, thinking, why are we talking about this again? Zach visits Ashton at work and takes him out to lunch to apologize for hitting him the day that Isabella died. Zach tells Ashton it's more than what it seems. He shows the photos to Ashton, and Ashton recommends him to go and talk to Professor Andrew. The next day, Ashton comes over, and we still are trying to convince him of what is going on. We skip some dialogue, and we get to the part where Zach is looking for Ashton at the mansion, and we decide to keep looking for him. Zach gets a call from Ashton telling him to come back to Isabella and Rebecca's apartment, and he goes back to check in to see what's going on. So when we get into Marianne's chapter, the only choice that we had made different is we stayed on the first floor in the mansion. That led us to go upstairs and talk to Hannah. And in the end of her chapter, it leads us to two choices: to either move on from Lorraine or to stay with her. And this time we chose to stay with her because, Luke, Hannah, and Marianne kind of have their own story, and then Isabella, Zach, Rebecca, and Ashton all have their story. So I thought, hey, maybe go a little bit faster if I kill off one H in each storyline. That way we can get through it a little bit faster. I know it's a lot of rereading and stuff like that, so I'm not trying to make it, I'm trying to still keep it interesting. So we get into Rebecca's chapter, and it's after her and Isabella fought on the phone. Rebecca goes to her place to try to talk to her, thinking she's just being stubborn and won't answer the door. So she gets out Isabella's keys. I guess she had a copy of them. And she opens up the door and she goes inside, and she sees Isabella hunched over her work desk. She sees Isabella hunched over her work desk. And she continues to yell at her and thinking that she's just ignoring her. So when she walks up towards her, she can smell a foul stench in the air, and she steps on something wet. And I think that's when it finally hits that something is wrong here. So she calls out to Isabella, and she turns her around, and she finds the state of how Isabella died right in front of her. I mean, could you imagine how horrific that would be to find a close friend like that? I couldn't even imagine it. She calls the police, and crime scene investigation shows up. A bunch of people have gathered around their apartment to see what's going on. Ashton shows up, and Rebecca tries to tell him what she saw in that room. And he kind of says that, he wants to see it for himself. So he goes inside and he does his job. I mean, he is a police officer. I mean, he has dealt with dead people and dead bodies before. So, I mean, he kind of has to have this mask on. And Rebecca thinks, is he not fazed by this? So he comes out of the room. He tells someone to take a statement from Rebecca after she has calmed down because she was the first one to come across her body. Rebecca looks back and she can tell that Ashton is upset. So the next day she kind of reminisces about what has happened and wonders if Zach and Ashton are going to be okay. She goes to the cafe to tell her parents about the invitation to the housewarming party. And after she gets off the phone with them, she ends up falling asleep in the cafe. And she has a nightmare about her coming across Isabella. And it's really sad. The deaths are really hard in this game. So after she wakes up and realizes she's still at the cafe, she decides to head home. And she comes across Ashton, Inspector Abagail, and Chief Inspector Lee all having a discussion about Ashton's behavior ever since he found out Isabella has died. He's been in a very snappy attitude and getting into fights with people. So they try to tell him to take a break and, if he cooperates, maybe he'll still be on the case and be able to help. So that kind of puts him in check. He walks away and Rebecca follows him to the park and she kind of watches him for a little bit and she decides maybe I should leave because, he's obviously upset, and she tries to walk away, but she ends up stepping on something and gives away her location. So she has to end up confronting Ashton and, confronting him about his feelings about what has happened because he is putting up this wall and he is trying to not think about it. So she ends up really getting into him and he ends up breaking down in front of Rebecca and she, tries to comfort him. After that and after he feels better, they part ways. Then we get up to the part where she's at work and she runs into Luke and she gets a text message from Ashton saying that, he's going to be stopping by later, and we decide to not accept Luke's invitation to go out to dinner. We go meet up with Ashton and we ask him how is the case with Isabella. And he pretty much says that the embassy has been in contact with her family, and I think that her family wants her belongings and stuff like that. So they have asked us to kind of pack up her things for her. So let's continue where we left off. The night wears on without further incident, despite the great number of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morning. It hangs in the hallway, it lingers in Isabella's room, palpable the moment I ease open the door and walk in. The scent of disinfectant greets me upon crossing its threshold. The windows have been left wide open, but it doesn't do much to keep the sterile smell out. The walls and the floors have also been scrubbed clean of the blood after the police were done with it. Yet, even with all the efforts they've taken, the scent of death endures. But more than that is the sight of what has been left behind. Posters hanging on the wall, framed photos she keeps on her bedside. Oh, there's her little bat cat and her sheepy. I want one of those little sheeples, they're so cute. The stuffed toys she brought on a whim before, the mess of cushions on one area of the room that she promised to clean. She'd never be able to do that now. Even without her here, the room is still so undoubtedly hers. Ashton and Zachary are already here, each of them having found a corner of the room to start their work. Scattered around them are a couple of boxes, 6, 7. Most are still empty, merely waiting to be filled. It's a wonder if it'll be enough to fit all 5 years' worth of memories there. Knowing Isabella, she won't be willing to leave any of these behind. There's no lively chatter, no friendly banter here to greet me, only a thick silence hanging between the three of us. And despite my resolve, I still end up hanging around the door, unsure. From the looks of it, the two of them alone can already handle this, but still, I want to help. Even if doing this has a ring of finality in it. Ooh. Well. Ooh, it looks like Zachary's a little bit more. Let's just assist Ash. I don't really, can I like get in a relationship with Zachary somehow? I don't know. Let's just assist Ash. I'm already at, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm already at 101 achievements out of 172, so I have 71 more achievements to go. And we've been kind of like powering through them, so it hasn't been taking that long. I'm hoping within the next few episodes we can get most of those, out of the way. Let's assist Ash. Ashton does not look up from his work when I approach. He is, however, considerate enough to make room for me in what little space he's made for himself amidst the room's mess. In the little time he's been here, he has made much progress cleaning up the corner of the room he picked. 2 boxes have already been filled, taped, and set aside. Now, he's already working through the photos taped on Isabella's fridge, carefully putting them all in a neat stack beside him. With nothing else to say, not even a clipped greeting, we both simply lapse into silence. Working diligently through the clutter of papers and books around us, sorting everything into the boxes. This pile will immediately be sent to her family. It's important. A collection of postcards goes in this other box for shipment at a later date. Her younger siblings will love it. Only a few soft grunts and hums are exchanged between us until the minutes blur and we found a rhythm. One that's broken when Ashton chuckles. Oh, they're going through like all their memories of her, right? An odd thing to hear in the heavy silence of the room, and it prompts me to look up from my own work, puzzled. He's staring at one of the remaining photos still fixed to the fridge's door. Moments later, after a bit of his amusement has died down, he reaches for it. Achievement unlocked, nothing but memories. Reminisce the beginning of a friendship. Aww. Why'd you put a little freaking statue on Ashton? It's an old photo of the 4 of us. Taken a few years ago, about 2 or 3 years probably. I can't remember now. Isabella has always been the one to remember these sort of things. Although, at the moment, the picture isn't the most flattering thing to look at after she drew over Ashton's face. None of it seems to bother him, though. In fact, with the manner he's staring at it, it's as if he's holding the most precious things in his hands right now. A tender smile is on his lips, and for the first time in days, his eyes are bright with something close to fondness.
Really, scaredy cat? A mustache? I expect more from you than that.
A mustache? Ooh. Reminds me of, oh my god, what was that movie? Euro Trip. The guy with the mustache was like, Muscusi, Muscusi. Oh my god, I cracked up so hard to that. It was so funny.
She was such a child sometimes.
Worse. She's clumsy, a scatterbrain, and a crybaby. In the 5 years
Scatterbrain.
we've known her, she got us into all kinds of trouble. More than I can count. Honestly, she barged into our lives with all the subtlety of a bulldozer. The way she came in leaves a terrible impression when you think about it. Who does that?
It sounds like a complaint on all fronts. There's not even a hint of humor in it. Wherever I look at it, I'm inclined to think he really means all of it. But this is Ashton. Sometimes, despite what he says, his words carry a completely different meaning beyond what he chooses to convey. It's all a matter of looking beyond it, past his unnecessary criticisms and blunt declarations. Saving. I can hear a but.
I can hear a but in there.
At my words, he stiffens, like a child who has been caught in the middle of his lie, but the unspoken question in it has struck true. Little by little, his posture eases, a gentle expression spread over his features, as his thumb moves over her face in the picture. All a memory now. Though even before he answers, even without his eyes trained on me, I already know.
But it's people like her that you don't forget.
It's the little things, they say, the smallest sighs, the quiet proclamations, and the hushed gestures that roar louder than any. It's in the way he looks at her, smiles at her, and speaks of her, in the manner the sharp edges of his features softens at the mere thought of her. Grief underlies all of it, the yearning, but in that one fleeting second, this is the one truth he will hold against the world. He loves all of her. Despite the hollow ache in my heart, only a hum of agreement makes its way to my throat. An acceptance. This will always be a part of him. She will always be a part of him, in the same way her presence has wormed its way into Zachary's life and mine. If he never wishes to part with this, I won't blame him. That sentiment goes for all of us.
Do you think she'd be okay with it if I keep this one?
Out of everything, you want a photo where she doodled on your face.
I think it's pretty cute.
What's wrong with it? I think it looks very tasteful. 11 out of 10. I'd even put it on Shirley's dashboard.
Belle would say your taste sucks.
She'd say more than that. She'd probably call me an asshole while she's at it.
You know she didn't mean that.
For a long moment he is quiet, as if he's weighing his next words. Outside, a soft breeze rustles the few trees within the vicinity, and the gentle tweets of the birds have begun to blend in with the distant noises of the city. The world is waking. Along with it, Ashton releases a sigh, softly under his breath, but weighted with all that he's hanging on to.
No, she never did.
Then, gently, he sets the photo on a nearby table, separate from the stack on his left, right beside a small Lucky Charm. A light draft blows from the open windows, sending some of the papers around us aflutter. But the lone photograph on the table, that one remains, another memory to keep. However, today isn't the time for those. No further words are exchanged after that, and perhaps it is for the better. We manage to pack most of Isabella's belongings by the time all of us have to leave for work, but at the threshold, we all hesitate. I love all these new journal entries, going in the different paths. You get to see so many different scenarios with the characters. It's really cool. While packing Isabella's things for return to her family, Ashton found an old group picture with his face vandalized. Despite calling Isabella a scatterbrain and a crybaby, he remarked that people like her were the ones you do not easily forget. That's cute. A heavy air hangs around us, a consequence of knowing that this might be the last time we will be doing something for her. Of course, none of us mentions it, even if the meaning's all too clear in our heads. This is a goodbye, if anything. The world outside waits, and we can't stay here. So, with the last glance, we leave all of it behind. At least, tonight, I'll have something to look forward to, something to take my mind off things. And if any of my hunches are correct, where this all started will provide the answers I'm looking for.
He didn't have to lie to me.
But right at this instant, there's only one that comes to mind. You should be with your wife.
You know, brooding over here isn't going to fix this mess.
It's my turn to frown this time. What does he mean by that? Care to explain your reasons?
Care to explain your reasons?
October 30th, Sunday. If Isabella were still with us, what would she say? Would she blame us for not listening? That it cost us a life, her life, for any of us to begin heeding any of it? It all stems from that one moment in the movie house, doesn't it? We could have avoided this had we only taken her warnings to heart. One stupid mistake is all it took to send our normal lives on a downward spiral. Frankly, I'm no longer sure if I'm angry at myself for it, or at the universe for throwing us into this mess. But we can only make do of what little we have, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Going here might not be the right decision, but it's a start.
A good start.
It doesn't take much time for me to find what I need. Is there even a place safe enough I can escape to? Head for the door. If there's one, it's out of this room, out of this place, as far away as anyone can get from her. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh! Yeah!
I don't think twice. If Isabella were watching us right now, I'm sure she'd feel the same. She'd be rooting for us even. Wherever this will lead us to is a victory on its own. Now, all that's left is to find the others, the rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Ashton, October 29th, Saturday. How do I even go about this? Insist it's confidential.
It's confidential, Rebecca.
It's the knowledge that catching the criminal won't bring back the dead, won't suddenly make everything right again. Hell, I've already failed Isabella. Even without any life in her eyes that night, I could still see the accusation in them. If I lose another person important to me because I didn't listen, there wouldn't be enough regret in the world. Fuck, I can still see Isabella's lifeless eyes staring back at me. Ooh, I would hate that. Has also been saying odd things about a bunch of photographs. And I understand that now. Or what Zach told me about a few days ago.
What did he say about the photographs?
Huh? Oh, there's no guarantee it's a supernatural thing. It doesn't always happen. So, that's a dead end right there. Now that I think about it, bothering that guy for this feels pretty silly now. But with the dreams lately.
Ooh, and Isabella. However, this little detail had been bothering me since Inspector Abagail pointed it out during briefing. Even the news has picked up on it. Most of the victims are employees of the same company before their untimely deaths.
No, Zachary, I was just talking to her. She was alive, and I shouted at her. I should have at least heard her out, given her the chance. She was so worried about everyone, that something might happen to us. Zach, she was warning me. She said we might be in danger. Remember Rose Cooper, her co-worker, on the news? You've heard it, right? She was saying something about her and the letter she got from that mansion.
Whoa, wait there, Rebecca. That's a huge jump in logic right there. And a little bit too much to take in at once, frankly.
I know that. If nothing happened, I wouldn't have given it much thought. But as it is, what if she was right all along? What if that letter she found really has something to do with this? The same thing was written in her room, with her own blood and...
And nothing. I expected to hear a better argument from you, Rebecca. And before you ask, the stupid letter's with forensics now, along with the other evidence. Don't waste your time looking for it. The whole case is a train wreck as it is.
Sure, I could also check the station for full reports. That's the easy, semi-legal way. Best thing that can come out of this is that Isabella was right all along. Searching for what I need would be a whole lot easier if Isabella were here. Maybe she'd even tell me more about the sudden layoffs. She had always been...
Focus, Frey.
5 8. Oh my god. 2 8 1. Oh my god, she's getting closer. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Oh my god, I did it. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. She was so close. So close.
October 30th, Sunday. Zeman has shown me photographs, mentioned weird things happening around him these past few days. Bottom line, he likely knows as much as I do. Why else would he approach me, the guy who knows stuff, according to him? In the end, all I've done is give him the brush off. Some reliable guy I am. Hell, Rebecca's probably in the same boat, grasping for anything that might provide an answer, a way out of this. What can any of us do when all of us lacks any understanding of what's happening? One thing's clear about this, however. That thing is after us because of the letter. Isabella already died because of it. These past years, it seems the only one she had been able to easily forgive was Isabella. I kind of wish she were here to help me talk to her. I run my hand through my hair and straighten out my jacket before knocking. The last one I don't have the heart to remove yet. I've already lost one. There's Zach too, of course. I'll always be thankful for having them around. There had been Isabella as well. Her presence in my life will always be immutable, even if she's no longer here. Unlike Rebecca and I, he took the time to listen to what Isabella said, and even if he didn't believe it, he was definitely the first one to offer help or try to do something. The added guilt from those times I repeatedly dismissed him will surely haunt me. Isabella's death has proven that. Hell, if Isabella were still here. Unconsciously, my attention drifts towards the closed door of her apartment, and it hits me the second my eyes land on it. A split second of idea. I didn't bother looking into this when we were here the other day, considering the reason or even during the investigation. But Cooper died. Isabella would have most likely received all the files for Ermengarde Mansion. In fact, she might not need to. They were partners, right? It's no longer a trainee-mentor thing. They both likely have the same copies of the documents. She might still be keeping some in her room. Something she hadn't been able to give us because of the tragedy. Despite all the packing we did the other day, her room's still a mess of things she has accumulated over the years. So I'm guessing he still bobby pins into her apartment to see those files that her and Rose Cooper had about the Ermengarde Mansion and all of the clients and stuff like that. Papers, instant noodle cups, a few photographs and posters we never got to include in the boxes for shipment. No matter where you look at this, the place simply has Isabella written in it. Just 5 years and she's left this big of a mark in our lives. I'd be lying if I say her presence didn't change a lot of things. Though, first things first, some things still need to be discussed. You're okay. Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from it is my own relief.
I know you're not very fond of the Wrights, but they don't deserve it if something bad happens. Hannah most of all.
But that someone also has to make sure. Are you alright?
You okay? You're limping.
As expected, she tries to hide it. This time, when she squirms from my grasp, it's with enough force she almost stumbles back if Zach has not caught her by her elbow. Even with another person shooting her concerned looks, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Little accident. Hard to believe when her other arm's nursing the supposedly fine arm. Zach doesn't appear to buy any of it either.
Really? In a library? Don't they have some sort of safety protocols there, like reminders and those kinds of stuff?
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly, she goes very still, and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly, its grip on the limb tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture of comfort for herself. So yeah, all that's different in this scene is Isabella's not in a coma, and Isabella's not in the room when they all come together to investigate. I've already lost Isabella. I'm not losing Zach and Rebecca too.
Let's leave these issues for now. There are some things, a lot of things, you guys need to know.
Shouldn't we look into the mansion too? That's where the letter came from. That's where she came from. Maybe it's just as the professor says. There might be more to this than what we're thinking on the surface. Don't know, just a thought. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
But how does the mansion equate into all of this? How does the letter Isabella found does? Will bringing the letter back there fix everything? If I'm going to go by what Andrew told Zach, the connection between the letter and the mansion's curse may run deeper than what we've initially thought. That stupid paper might be at the heart of this for some reason, and we won't be able to figure this out without looking into the other. Fuck. Sooner or later, she'll get us like what she did with Isabella. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. October 31st, Monday. Easy to forget we've lost someone. If anything, it's only their appearances that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. Isabella would never let me hear the end of it if she were still here. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in the mood. With one of us no longer here, the world has an awful sense of humor. For the sake of the one we've lost. It's just funny how it took all of this to spur these kinds of thoughts in me. I can't even remember the last time something like it has occurred to me. How and where do I even start? I'd feel better if I don't have to worry about you. There are only 2 ways this will end. What else then? Offer a vague answer.
I need to head off somewhere tonight.
A vague answer. It's all I can offer, and hopefully this will be enough. It's not an outright lie, but that doesn't make me feel any less awful about this. It's worse when you know she's asking only because she's worried. Part of me wants to tell her, admit exactly what I'm planning tonight. What good will it do, though? I've already told Zach, one person is enough. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to, in case things don't pan out. Expect the worst, even if I've only intended to do a quick survey of the place. In my own words, risky. Rebecca doesn't need to know the kind of danger I might be throwing myself in tonight. She should prioritize herself and her own safety first before others. But it's never that easy with her, isn't it?
Am I allowed to ask questions this time?
You're asking one right now, aren't you?
It's a serious question, Ashton. Yes or no?
You can, but I can't promise I'll answer them.
That's a nice way of saying no. You might as well just tell me to shut up.
You know I don't mean it like that.
Is there something I can do at least?
For an instant, I hesitate, pausing, fumbling for an answer. It's more difficult with her because all this time, she still looks to me as if I'm the same kid from years ago, who she depended on when she has yet to find herself, who she turned to for answers despite my lack of them. It makes me all the more afraid to fuck up this time. And in case I do, she's the last person I want to be with me. Getting her into trouble, getting her killed is not how I want to repay the friendship she has so generously offered after all these years. My friends are not supposed to be the ones taking the repercussions of my mistakes. Those are of my own doing, of my own responsibility. A fear, a heavy weight on my shoulders they shouldn't be dragged into carrying. However, if there's one thing I can trust her with...
Stay safe. Keep Z-Man safe. Watch over him while I'm out there. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. You're good with that kind of stuff.
I'm a high school teacher, Ash, not anyone's babysitter.
A grimace is on her face, but I know she'll do it, even without me asking for it. She cares, more than anyone, more than what her fiery temper expresses. And it eases something in me, knowing that Zach will have someone like her here. Sure enough, after a stretch of silence, she eventually nods. She does not entirely agree with this. It's in the distant look on her face, but she's willing to trust me on this. For now, that's enough. Either way, it's best that we simply leave things here for now. There's already an understanding, albeit something we both don't agree with. No need to push it further. With a light, reassuring squeeze on her shoulder, I stand up. At the same time, footsteps shuffle from the pub's entrance, and cheerful chatter suddenly fills the room as a group of people enters. It's all the distraction I need. Muttering an excuse and flashing Rebecca a quick smile, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave her on her own, despite the troubled look she shoots me. He's always apologizing underneath his breath, right? Unfortunately, it's still in the evidence locker at the precinct, or maybe that's a stroke of luck on its own. I'll find out soon enough. Taking out evidence from my own department under a pretense is something I don't do every day or ever, but priorities, lives at stake. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make a beeline for my car. The wind has already picked up upon my arrival at the precinct. Somewhere, the faint sound of thunder booms, filtering even through the concrete walls of my workplace. Though sparsely manned around this hour, the on-duty officers' lively chatter easily fills the room. Some coax me into joining them when I pass by, but all of it has been turned down in favor of rushing straight to the evidence area. Normally, taking evidence out is a tedious process. However, being one of the people in charge of investigating Isabella's murder smoothens the process. Still so surprised that he was able to really investigate her murder, because usually, like I said, they would suspect the people closest to her. She really wasn't involved with anybody else besides this group of friends, besides Rose. I mean, to my understanding. But yeah, it just doesn't seem very realistic. And after spouting a legit sounding reason, the custodian is handing me the letter 5 minutes later. I'll probably get in trouble for this if they find out I lied, but everything has already gone foobar. Getting in trouble at work is the least of my worries. Worst case, I'll be dead and they'll have no one to dismiss. In case I survive, I'll think about that letter when this whole ordeal with the dumb curse is over. I mean, look at this thing. I won't take it seriously if it isn't for all the fucked up shit that's been happening. This is the sort of stupid people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. Did people seriously make copies of this and pass them around to try and save themselves from a possible curse? That's the inane logic that could be garnered from the fact that there are multiple victims. Was Isabella not saved because she had simply shown us this one instead of sending 5 different ones? What sort of selfish person would even endanger 5 other people just to save their own skin? More importantly, what does this have to do with the mansion? There'll be time for answers later. I've wasted enough time here. Quickly, I stuff the letter into my pocket and head back to my car. Ashton dropped by LPD's evidence area before heading for Anslem Village. Tonight, by whatever means necessary, he had to get inside the mansion and find a way to break the curse, and he wouldn't be able to do that without the letter. Ooh. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxbourne and heading straight for Anslem Village. In the distance, flashing of lightning lights up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble seconds later, echoing long across the heavens. And with one last roar, the skies open in earnest. November 1st, Tuesday. The rain fall in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Another person too late to save from this curse. Ignoring the dread, gently I give the blazer a pull.
Oh, I hate this scene.
Unexpectedly, her head lolls back, twisted, contorted, severed.
Oh my god, why does it have to open so much?
But to see another suffer this kind of death.
What about Isabella?
Ooh.
She warned you, didn't she? And you think you deserved even an ounce of her love? Did you think this'll bring her back? You can't even save her. You can't even do anything for her. Someone's dead because of you!
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
For their deaths!
She's gone. Yet, it seems a part of me still hangs onto a sliver of hope that she'll be here. Zach helps Rebecca up first, assisting her up and through the gap. The moment that she makes it through, I nod for him to go. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this because Isabella and Marianne aren't here. Maybe I should eliminate the immediate danger first and disarm him. Just beg him to listen. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. Luke. I definitely do not want to be like Damien Wright. I'm just worried about the children.
I'm just worried about the children, Hannah. I know you can take care of yourself just fine. You're one tough cookie.
Should I give them to Hannah? Perhaps I did it to save face, or maybe a small part of me really had planned to take them for her. October 31st, Monday. Ooh, okay. Ooh, we finally get to see a little bit more of the story. That's why I want to try to kill a little bit more off when I'm playing it, because yeah, this is working perfectly so far. So, okay. A lovely meal in the gardens on a rare sunny day. The Lord and his lady cannot be any happier, but one woman see this, looking on in despair. Is it the servant woman? Jealousy presents itself, like wriggling worms trying to force themselves down my throat.
I'm so delighted you can be here with me today, my love. I miss you so.
I am but your most humble servant, milady. I do regret that the trades keep me away far too often.
Lady Charlotte is really pretty, though.
But simply say the word and I'll...
Oh, hush. It is of little import now. All that matters is you are here, my love. Now enough of that. I have good news. Do you recall the confectionery we used to frequent? From the western edge of the village, down by the river?
I feel sick, utterly green in the gills at this sensation, lasting until its image is all but washed away by another. My heart feels like it's seizing in my chest, like it's being squeezed, and the pressure won't stop until it bursts.
Are you truly storming off over some hearsay? Be sensible!
What you did, it is... There are no words. You bring disgrace to this family. This rotten noble standing in front of me is not the cousin I grew up with. This is not the lady I fell in love with. She would never do such unspeakable things, Charlotte!
I bring disgrace. I bring disgrace. I am not the idiot who's running off in the middle of the night. You promised, Edward. You gave me your word. Don't you dare turn your back on me. I swear to you, if you step 1 foot out of these lands, mark my words, Edward, I will.
What? What is it you swear? Will your men steal me away, defile me too like what you did to yourself?
There's an undercurrent of fear. I'm in danger, my head screams at me. And there is hurt, a deep burning shame I can feel on the woman's behalf. Looking at her on its own is a chore I cannot bear. One after the other, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away for what feels like an eternity. Each one, a show of both joy and suffering for those who have called this mansion their home. Each new scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion in the blurry images that present itself in my head. I can feel a part of these, like I've lived through them, though I know that is not possible. All their anger burns through me, that much is evident, but the pain more so. And above all of it are the whispers. The voices calling, luring, until one image emerges in vivid contrast with the others. When there's a shout of joy, my eyes snap open, looking for the culprit. That's when the whole room just changes. Everything is the same, yet everything isn't. November 1st, Tuesday. Let me replay that.
A photographer and a high school teacher walk into a mansion. Don't worry, I always consider pressing lighter charges if it's a woman I have to deal with in court.
I have to demand Hannah's release. What am I doing? Why am I even hesitating? Let's see what happens when both Marianne and Isabella are gone.
What's going on?
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away!
No. Stay away. Stay away.
Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
It's Marianne.
We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
There's Isabella. Okay, so we burn the letter if Marianne and Isabella aren't there. Epilogue. Let's see what's changed. Even with his success, he still hasn't forgotten what he has lost during that time. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of what she lost after the curse. As fresh as the wounds are still, this is how she remembers, as well as what he lost. He hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. Alright, new game. Ah! What the frick, man? What the hell? I've never seen that one before. The heck? Isabella. Here we go again. I eat other things too.
Hey! I eat other things too.
Can't believe how far I've gotten in this game. I'm shocked. Is there any other pass besides the negative choices that I gotta do? I don't think so. Lord, please help me. Let's be brave and look up. Oh shit.
Oh my god, 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 hurry up, hurry up! Oh my god.
I still want to know what happens if we show the letter. I can't wait to be all done with the deaths to do that path, because I don't know what that's gonna do with the negative choices. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. We'll check with our supervisor. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding it. Should I even tell them? Don't show the letter yet. I don't want to know what happens when I do that. At least, not without revealing everything that took place in the attic. Change the subject.
You keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours.
Maybe leaving is a better decision for all of us? Stay for the movie, why not? Any other day, I'd excuse myself and go straight home. Who should I meet? Meet with the professor.
I'll think about it, but if ever, I'd like to give talking to Andrew a try.
October 22nd, Saturday. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it? My instant noodle days are over.
Okay, let me do that again.
October 23rd, Sunday. I wish he'd stop pestering me about them. I know you're trying to help. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? But right now, I could thank him in the best way I know. You're not bad after all. I close the short distance separating us. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? Talk about her job.
I'm just curious about your work.
October 24th, Monday. We're going to stay at home. My hand automatically moves to press the delete button. Decline her offer.
No, I'm not at the office!
Oh my god, I made her die like that again. I feel so bad. Hannah. Oh my god, it's Hannah's turn. October 21st, Friday. Why must he treat me this way? Let's defend yourself.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want.
Or perhaps, maybe I should free up my schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
October 26th, Wednesday. What should I say? You'll be a great father.
Kylie likes you well enough.
I'm not sure if I want to, though. Stop it.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
What's it gonna be? Should I tell a truth or tell a little lie? I was tending the gardens.
I was just tending to the garden, sweetie.
Here's the choice. So I will. We're going to open the hatch. Hold on. I want to see where that left me on the branching tree. Where are we right now? Right here. We're going to open a new path here. Like, I don't know what this is going to do, though. I wonder. All right. Open the hatch. I may not be going down, but there's no point in talking through closed doors, or hatches in this case. The thing refuses to budge at first until there is a soft click, and it easily swings free. As I lift up the hatch and look down into the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just the sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. I can hear her whispering, calling for me. She wants me, needs me. She wants to drown me, pull me down, and suffocate me in her embrace until I sink to the bottom. A deep abyss awaits, inviting yet foreboding. She's calling to me from in there, isn't she? And I do want to help. I do. But the shadows threaten to creep out, and a feeling of apprehension keeps me in place. Already, it paints the room in a darker light. There is a lurching sensation, and the feeling that follows after is hard to explain. It feels like I'm watching myself from the sidelines, a spectator to my actions or lack thereof. I will myself to snap out of this detached feeling, to move, to do anything except stare at myself. And for a moment, I see the look of fear in my own face. I'm back in my body, but the hook in my stomach is no longer the only one. There are hooks everywhere, tearing and pulling at my skin, flesh and bone. What is this, Hellraiser? They pull at me in every direction, and it hurts. It hurts so much, but I can't bring myself to scream out.
Help me.
Oh, I'm gonna feel this. I want to see what happens. Deeper and deeper. I drown. Ooh, okay. Here we go. So this happens way earlier if you open the hatch. I wake up from a deep slumber. It takes a while with the fog that has settled in my head and with my heavy limbs. But soon enough, I manage to look around. I'm in our bedroom already, although I do not recall going here. Luke slumbers beside me, looking peaceful and angelic. It doesn't matter. I'm safe, and I feel better than ever. Tomorrow, better days will come. October 28th, Friday. So what did that really do? Hold on, let me see where that led us on the branching tree. Oh. Okay, so it led us up on this path, but I wonder if that really changed anything. I guess we'll see. We have completed 77% of our chapter now. Luke is already gone by the time I rise.
What do I think of the matter, ma'am?
No, what do you think of my hair? It feels so lifeless and dull today, and that's no good for a party. And I think I'm breaking out into zits.
Now that you mention it, there is something different.
There better not be something on my face.
I wouldn't worry about that. You do look a little paler than usual, ma'am.
What did that ghost do to Hannah?
I apologize if I'm crossing any lines here, but have you been resting properly?
Huh. You'd think I get a bit tanned with how sunny it's been lately. Don't you worry. I feel right as rain and never better.
I mean, she's acting like Hannah, so...
But back to the matter at hand.
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...?
Do I want her to be honest? Be honest with me.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it.
It's now that Johannes returns with security, along with the concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he has heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man. Not that I believe Rochelle. Luke will never. He will never go so far as to sleep with another woman, right?
I'm so sorry for her behavior. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk? Of course they're nothing but ramblings of a drunk. She's just jealous. Jealous of this wonderful marriage, this happily ever after that I have with my prince. Wait, didn't she say that when we first went through Hannah's chapter and the ghost was like attacking us in the kitchen? She said my prince.
Take that troll up out of here immediately!
Achievement unlocked, cat fight.
And see to it that she isn't allowed here or anywhere we hold any authority in Luxbourne.
To be banned from anything with the right name on it is basically social suicide. We practically own half of Luxbourne, and there isn't a single establishment of repute that isn't under our patronage one way or another. This is mercy. I can do much worse to her. At least this way, she can just move out of the city and never ever return. I have stayed my hand in the face of her grievous fault, her bold-faced lies when she deserves so much more. I can take away her business, have her factory shut down. It is too easy to ruin her life until she is just nothing. And it is also tempting. I can only see red. The tension is thick in the air, and the silence that embraces the room is nearly deafening. There are worried and almost fearful glances from some of the guests, yet at the same time I can still hear them whispering. But as long as they hold their tongues and don't interfere, none of those matter to me. Especially when my darling looks at me with a different shine in his eyes. It almost seems as if he's proud of what I've done, and that spurs me on more than anything.
Everyone, please go back to enjoying the party. Don't let that mess of a woman ruin your night.
You heard her! Strike up the band, maestro, and let us dance like fireflies in the night!
Okay. It takes a bit for the crowd to stir again in the face of all that. But like most problems of the elite, it is brushed under the rug and forgotten in favor of merriment. Dude, this is probably like my most favorite version of this song is when they're at the ballroom. I just love the strings and the sound of it. I just love it. He offers his hand to me with a small smirk and a bow.
Well, that was a mess, wasn't it? And you handled it magnificently.
So wait, if Hannah opens the hatch, she doesn't take Luke out into the foyer and start talking to him?
It happens. We are very important people, are we not?
Milady, would you like to dance?
With pleasure, my prince.
Why does she keep calling him a prince? No one is going to get in between me and my darling husband. Not Rochelle or any other rich, snooty scrubber. Not some common whore or an ambitious maid. No one is going to get near him in that manner, not while I'm around. And if I have anything to say about it, no one is going to get near him at all. October 29th, Saturday. The day after proved to be a difficult task. Okay. This is different. In the aftermath of Rochelle's accusations, an enraged Hannah banned her former friend from setting foot in any of their properties. Despite what happened, the commotion was brushed off and the party continued. Luke and Hannah were seen dancing sweetly together all night. My darling prince is a man of many connections, a man of the people. He is always talking to one person or another, and I am always left alone, unable to stay at his side at all times. It is frustrating, but I have to be understanding. Besides, I don't see why he can't just stay at home. The least I can do is make sure I have his time while he's here, which in and of itself isn't as easy as it sounds. Not with that bloody valet of his tailing him around.
Johannes, where's my tie?
Why is Hannah acting so, jealous of everybody all of a sudden?
I can't find it anywhere.
Have you looked around your neck? It should be there if it's not on your clothes horse, sir.
It isn't often that I am awake this early, at least early enough to find my darling preparing for the day with his valet attending to him. It is an old-fashioned way to go about the morning. He's able to dress himself after all. But he says that it really makes the day easier for him to have someone else do this tedious task, albeit with a grimace. Though if that manservant of his dislikes the duty so much, I'll gladly do it in his stead.
I've got it, my prince. Come here.
Well, someone's up and at them especially early this morning, huh? Here I thought you'd be knackered by all the dancing we did last night at the party. And after that, well...
Oh. A saucy little wink and a smile is what he offers me as I draw close to fix his tie. And when the valet reaches out with his perfume, I quickly take it and shoo him aside. This close, his scent fills me with the smell of white flowers, cocoa, cardamom, and almonds. It is intoxicating. And the sight of the two of us in the vanity mirror is picturesque and perfect. Can I help it if I feel a bit resentful that another person gets to do this for Luke every morning when I could have done it myself? No, I can't.
You're dismissed, Shroken. I have this.
She seems to be getting a little, clingy all of a sudden.
Go on then. You'll be summoned if you're needed.
There is a curious look, furrowed brows, before any sign that he cares is wiped from his expression.
Very well. If you need me, I'll be somewhere that isn't here.
Johannes is like, fuck this. I don't know what I did, but...
You could have let the man do his job.
And I say there's no need for him. I can take care of you just fine, my prince. Just where are you off to this morning anyway?
I hate the thought of him leaving me. It feels like an eternity without him here, in this lonely place that doesn't feel like a home quite yet. Although the mansion is really growing on me, slowly but surely. I want to be at his side, yet he fails to see such an obvious thing.
Business. Where else?
Why can't you just work from home? You can afford to, can't you?
Business needs a firm hand and a personal touch, Buttercup. Besides, I can't stay cooped up forever in here. I'll go mad.
Well, you'll come back home as soon as possible, won't you? It's so awfully lonely here without you, my prince.
I could. I don't see why I should, though. This hasn't been a problem before.
Yeah, she's acting a little clingy and obsessive.
You know I'll come home when I come home.
Just get home as soon as you can. For me, won't you?
No promises. It's business after all. I can't just stand up in the middle of the meeting and tell them the wife wants me home.
Then forget those peasants.
He stops and stares, looking perturbed for a moment before shaking his head. Is he feeling ill? That's more reason for him to stay here with me, doesn't it? I'm just being a good wife, worrying about my husband and all.
Be good, dear, and stay safe. There's been all sorts of dodgy characters seen about the property. I'll be leaving Johannes with you, just in case you need anything, and to be on the safe side, okay?
But I don't need a valet. I need you here with me.
I'll be closing a big deal with a pharmaceutical company soon, if things go according to plan. Maybe, after that, I can take a breather for a bit.
No maybes. You have to promise me.
I only need him.
I'm going to be late, Hannah. The longer this takes, the later I'll get home.
Fine. Shall I see you out?
If that's what you want.
At the front door, his valet waits, ready to accompany him for the rest of the day, when he's told to stay and attend to me. I still don't like it. It looks like he doesn't either. But I ignore him in favor of the one who really matters. I hold Luke's hand in mine and give him a deep kiss. It makes my heart flutter as I see the way his eyes close during our moment of passion. Parting for air, I can only smile.
Have a good day, my prince.
Right. Off I go.
Off I go? I still don't want him to leave. He should just stay. forever.
If you could let go of my hand, please, Hannah.
What is wrong with Hannah? It's just so hard to let go when I finally have him in my grasp. To watch him enter his car and leave pains me so. It leaves behind an aching, gaping hole like a hunger and a need. I'm not content until he returns.
If it fits you, breakfast is ready in the parlor, madam.
If anything, I'll be in a foul mood until he returns.
Leave and go practice your bloody sodomy elsewhere.
Dude, this is not like Hannah at all. Okay, so what? Did that thing, like, maybe possess her? I mean, she says that she looked paler. She looked different. Like, her hair was, like, thinning or what? Her hair was looking dead and she had zits breaking out in her face. And now she's just, like, this whole personality has changed of her. I don't know.
Peculiar.
I'm a little scared. When I turn around to hiss at him to leave, he's already gone, and that suits me just fine. I want to be alone without anyone bothering me. I want to be alone with myself and my thoughts, and only these halls as company. These damned halls which will hold our memories, just he and I. There is no one else I need but my prince. Not some cheeky servant who's just living it up just because he's Luke's right-hand man. Rubbish like him deserve nothing. He deserves to be thrown and locked in the attic. Dude, and that's so weird because, like, he was locked in the attic when the ghost woman killed him. Without realizing it, my feet have brought me in here. This empty, lifeless room disgusts me. The longer I stare at it, the harder it gets to breathe, as if the walls are moving in on me. What is happening? Yet at the same time, it pulls me in. I hear a whispering, and curiosity gets the better of me as I look under the bed. There, on the far corner, a loose floorboard. The wood, despite having swelled and warped over the years, is strangely familiar, comforting in its feel. Though it's not merely what my hand searches for as I reach for it, it takes quite an effort, but soon I'm able to lift it. And inside, underneath the dust and cobwebs, that's the servant woman's, lies a pendant, warm and familiar. And I swear, if I just close my eyes, I can feel it beating in my palm. I feel a thrill, though I also feel like a thief for taking this. But it's mine. So without delay, I hide in our room. In front of the vanity, I see the ways my eyes shine as I remove the clasps of my old necklace and put on this new one. Hannah was being extra clingy to her husband and grew easily irritated whenever someone would go near him, including their butler. While wandering the mansion, she found an old locket hidden under the attic's bed. Ecstatic over her rare find, she immediately wore it, replacing the Evans heirloom she had always kept. This is not like her. Achievement unlocked, right where it belongs. Dude, she's possessed. It fits a lot better than the old one. Oh my god, what did I do? But I had to choose it eventually. I wanted to see what would happen if I opened the hatch for her chapter. Oh no. I can feel it as it weighs on my chest.
Right where it belongs.
Oh my god. Why does she look so freaking possessed? She looks creepy as hell. Hannah, is that you? Oh my god. Zachary. Oh, now we gotta do Zach too. Hold on, I need to read this journal though. Oh wait, never mind, it's not a journal. October 25th, Tuesday. Who should I be with? Let's follow Ashton this time. See what happens. Follow Ashton. In the end, the need to fix whatever rift I have unintentionally opened between us wins out. The punch might have been an instinctive reaction, brought by high emotions after getting caught in the moment, but at the end of the day, someone has to ask for forgiveness.
I still need answers too, and who better to get it from than Ashton? I've already lost sight of the guy, though he shouldn't be too hard to find around here. Thankfully, the crowd has already thinned, most having already lost interest in the commotion that entails the discovery of a crime scene and left. A few do linger, just reporters finishing things up for the news and waiting for some final words from the authorities. If this incident is not yet all over the news this morning, it will be soon.
Like a pack of wolves descending on a piece of meat.
Yikes. That thought alone rankles. No sooner I find him standing close on a police van parked nearby, or rather, hear him. Just as I'm about to make the turn, an unfamiliar voice stops me in my tracks.
Forensics say it may take longer than usual. One piece of a long-ass process this is gonna be. Don't give me that look, Frey. You've seen how terrible the shape of the body is in. Almost spilled my guts out when I saw it. And I've seen a lot of dead bodies in my life.
I can't see who the other person is, but it's likely the officer he mentioned earlier. When Ashton answers, it's in the same composed manner he typically carries with him, as though this is simply another case for him to solve.
This was done by a professional, Abigail.
Sure it is. Or a wild animal. Maybe some monster, like the ones you'll find in a flick.
Don't be ridiculous. This is far from usual. But there's certainly an explanation to it. A logical one. Consider what we have right now. The place is clean, has been cleaned. No fingerprints, no hair, or any other way to indicate someone else has been in the apartment aside from the victim.
Please don't tell me you've never heard of the Anslem Butcher case.
Didn't the trail for that case go cold?
Until recently, yeah? Remember the woman from the other day? Not as gruesome, but same sitch. Help me everywhere. CSI guys also found a weird note with the same thing written in Santos's room.
So, wait a second. So, Rose did have a note.
I'd bet my boots Chief's gonna flip once he reads the reports. He never did catch who committed those murders years ago, and now his favorite serial killer is back. Bless Cooper's and Santos's poor souls. Some suspense mystery thriller this is turning out to be. Or a huge pain in the ass. Chief better give us a raise after this.
What did you say?
Chief better give us a raise? You know we're overdue for one.
No, before that. Say that again.
The note? It's with the forensics now if you want to check.
Not that one. A name. You mentioned a name. Cook? Coombs?
The Cooper woman? Oh yeah, you weren't there. Christ, Frey, at least check the reports for the other cases. Let's see. Rose Pamela Cooper, real estate agent, found dead in her flat the other day. Same modus operandi. Scene was clean, blood and entrails everywhere, whoop-de-doo, there goes my lunch, and a message written in blood.
Ashton falls silent. I can almost hear the gears turning in his head at the information.
The job. Her job. Where did you say she was working?
I didn't say anything. But it's Briar Realty, same one as this girl. Might be connected, huh?
They were the agents who handled the sale of the mansion to the Wrights.
Yep. Big news, that one property. Got a relative working in that real estate company once. He was laid off a year ago, along with a few dozen employees. I actually thought they're about to go under. Guess not. But 2 employees from the same company dead in the span of a week. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they did something fishy with a deal and things somehow got awkward with the client, if you know what I mean. This might be the result.
Isabella's not that kind of person!
His tone alone makes me pause. I've seen him annoyed before, frustrated even. It sometimes makes for a funny sight. But on a job? He shared a few of his cases with me before. I'd like to think I know how he works by now. And he has never once taken this kind of attitude in any of those.
Whoa there, hotshot. Calm down. I was just thinking out loud. Don't get snippy with me. And how the fuck do you even know she's not?
I know she's not. I wasn't... Sorry. I've got to file this report. I'm leaving this to you. I'll be back later. Keep me updated.
Figures. Go get some rest while you're at it. We've been at this since last night. Even I can't keep myself awake that long. You're still young, a hard-working kid. But don't kill yourself over every case you're handling, got it?
Thanks. Not this one, I'm afraid.
An irrational panic surges in me at the sound of his footsteps. It ain't my intention to eavesdrop, if this can still be called eavesdropping when they're talking loud enough for me to hear. I certainly can leave, but what good will that do? In any case, I still need to give these photographs back to him. Except he doesn't notice me when he passes. Even with the tentative hand I raise to get his attention, he continues to walk with a purpose, each stride quick and decisive. The look on his face, however, there are really no other words for it. He looks pissed as hell. And if he was the kind of person, I'd wager good money that the next one who annoys him will end up injured in some capacity.
Ash, hold on!
He stops, appears about to let out a half-dozen expletives, despite his restraint, before his tight expression eases into a small frown upon seeing me.
Zach? Didn't I say...
You forgot these.
I wave the photos in front of him. Recognition slips across his features before he walks over and takes them off my hand without so much as a thanks. Neither of us speak while he clips all of it back to his file. What else is there to talk about? A jest will be too inappropriate given the gravity of the situation. An apology right now, despite my intent when I sought him out, will be too early, too easy, too hasty. Not with our minds still reeling from the news. Not with all of us still finding ways to cope with our own grief. And this is how he does it, with feigned indifference and an air of aloof detachment. I can't fault him for that.
You heard?
What? Oh, yeah. Of course, I didn't mean to overhear sensitive stuff, but you left these, and you and that officer were...
It's fine. You need to hear from someone eventually. Better to hear from people who have the fact instead of some random gossip.
What happens now, Ash?
I'll get to the bottom of this, I promise. Even if I have to do it with my own hands, I'll make sure the person who did this will pay.
How? Do you think this has something to do with that other case?
Can't say. But make sure you stay far away from the rights. We've got enough problems as it is. I don't need another one adding more to it.
Who? Wait, brakes, Ash, brakes. What?
October 27th, Thursday. Provided he's still willing to talk to me after I accidentally clobbered his jaw the other day. And sometimes the only way out of the game is to be honest. I'm a friend of Hannah.
Sorry, I was just...
How should I start the conversation? I think that one looks cute.
Oh, I think that one looks cute.
Should I still show her the photos? What would that do? Probably a negative choice. Okay, never mind. She should know. I really should tell her. October 29th, Saturday. What should I say? Make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
Rebecca and I are still here.
October 30th, Sunday. Oh, it's right here. Oh. Ah! God dang it. Ah! Jesus Christ. It gets me every time. What the frick? What the frick? Okay, here we go. Someone could be in danger. I'm gonna save before I do this. Okay, we're gonna enter the open window. I could search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely by the time we come back, someone already bit the dust. That, and the cries grow louder against my ear the longer I linger. Alright, where did that leave us on the branching tree? I'm just kind of curious. Oh wait, I want to see where that led us on Hannah's branching tree first. We went down this path, ending 1. How do I get on this ending? I really don't understand how to get to this third ending. I don't understand how to get to that ending. Like, maybe it's like I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. And like Luke's only like 16% done. Like, how am I supposed to figure out all these paths? Oh my god. Well, I got to an ending 1. This was ending 3. I'm gonna have to look up, probably see how I get to ending 2, because I really don't know, guys. Zachary, where did that leave us for him? Ooh, enter the open window. What is this one? Interesting. Wow. Okay, let's see what happens. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. For a moment, I let myself shudder, shaking the uneasy feeling off my head. This can't be a good idea, not by a long shot. Still, I've got to try. Funnily enough, for a couple as high profile as the Wrights, they don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. A few guards here and there, sure, but no one will expect they have more considering the size of the place. It works to my advantage, though, and I really can't complain when there's a high chance I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Luckily, the window's wide enough for me to fit through without making any noise. There's certainly no going back now. As soon as I step into the parlor, all of it ceases, while I find no trace of the woman I heard crying like I'm expecting to. Okay, now leave. If you checked it out, now go. The room is still empty at this time of the morning, and I'm left standing awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Maybe she just hid somewhere?
Hello? Are you here? I heard someone earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I let the question hang in the air. But several seconds merely go by without a word or the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here. Has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this. And the awareness that I've just trespassed a house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly, the silence feels uncomfortable, and a needling anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I should get out of here while I can. If it ain't there, it ain't there. I don't spare the room another glance when I walk back the way I came. Out into the window, leave before someone else notices.
I thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about.
Oh no! Dude, Johannes is badass. Like, he can kick some ass.
How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat. Zach, just freaking fly out the window. Just like dive out the window. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape. But instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Why? Perhaps it's because the only impression the guy has left me in what few times we met is nothing but unsettling.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
Ah! The first blow knocks the wind out of me, sending me heaving and crumpling to my knees. Tears well up in my eyes as the pain swells when he twists my wrist behind my back.
You've got to listen to me!
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
For a moment, there is only silence and a sudden piercing ache, this time at the back of my head. What did he do? He freaking knocked us out? A terrified Zachary went looking for Ashton in the Ermengarde mansion, but to no avail. He also tried to warn Luke Wright about the spirits supposedly living in the house, but he was simply turned away. After hearing a crying woman, Zachary sneaked into the mansion, but was unfortunately stopped by the Wright's butler.
Oh.
The room abruptly tilts on its axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear the scuffling of foot, the thud of the door being closed, and a woman crying, asking for help. I know no more. October 31st, Monday. The pain is the worst when I come to, a sharp, piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Blearily, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. Achievement unlocked. Curiosity killed the cat. Be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Dude, they put Zach in jail? However, the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is. A cell. Dark, cramped, with only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the sole window, barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in sharp bursts. The mansion, looking for Ashton, a familiar tune, and a crying woman, and a woman crying. All while my head still aches from the hit I've received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching the cramps from my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when a sudden movement induces an acute stinging pain right through my arm.
Damn, they got me good. What time is it?
As expected, they've taken everything I have on my person. Wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell ain't in my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach it, looking for the person on duty. They'd usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton, at least, has to know I'm here. He'll be pissed, that I'm quite sure of, but he's the only one who can help prove my innocence and get me out. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through from further in, likely the poor officers assigned to late-night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch, today's topic over a snack is that moron who thought it's wise to cross the riots. They used other names too, most of which I'll like to have words with them about in the future. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me? Anyone?
Silence.
Excuse me! I need to make a...
Oh my god. Who the frick is humming? Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens. I don't dare turn, because more than the haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I'll see, of who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby. A death song. That's what it is now. But I guess that is what it has always been. If this is the end's calling, I'd prefer that it is not her vicious smile that I see last.
Oh, Zach, sweetie. Don't you love this song?
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that Hannah? Are you serious right now? Oh my god. Oh my god. She's different. She's different, dude. This is not Hannah. That's not Hannah, dude. That's freaky as shit. She looks possessed, bro. Oh my god. I feel so... Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this picture, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. When Zachary finally regained consciousness after being knocked out, he found himself locked up in a precinct. Hannah Wright gave him a little visit. Well, hold on, where am I in the branching tree? Oh my god, I'm over here? How do I get on this one? Oh, I bet if I didn't open the hatch for Hannah, this would lead to a different ending for Zach. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that too. My head snaps up in surprise, and I swivel to see Mrs. Wright, Miss Wright of all people, sitting on the cot.
her smile as easy and sweet as ever.
Miss Wright, what are you... how did you...
Whoa.
I jostle the cell door to check. A prison break is my last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. Locked tight. Why would she be locked in here with us, Zach? Start calling out to the guards! Was I just too groggy earlier that I didn't notice her?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
Dude, she looks so creepy right now. Oh my god, no. I'm scared of her, dude. She has a point. Out of all people, she knows more than anyone how to play that game in the world. Yet to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. I don't bring this up, however. Perhaps she's just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband. After the incident the other day at their party, well, I don't like gossip, but it won't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest things when in a bad mood. Still and all.
You ain't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of. But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
I'm just scared she's gonna like pop out at me and like eat us or something.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends. Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
She brushes off a lock of hair from her shoulders, stands up, and meanders around the length of the cell for whatever space it would allow. As if this is just a simple stroll in the park, making a show of checking every scratch and the past occupants of the room has left on its walls. Nevertheless, I try to make myself small against the corner. Any closer and we'll be crossing each other's personal spaces. Don't let her get close, Zach. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable with.
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
It does. Your popularity ain't going to give you any kind of immunity from the law.
She's so creepy.
I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
It makes her stop. But just as I'm starting to think I finally reasoned with her...
You don't want to get out of here.
And why are her eyebrows red all of a sudden? What is going on?
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
You did bring it to yourself.
What?
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hannah. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
Is she messing with me or what is she doing? I look straight at her, at the sudden change of her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She has every right to. After all that talk, the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels, beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't come as I'm expecting it to, however. Instead, she smiles.
No. No. Zach? Oh my god, this is frightening. What is wrong with you?
A horrid little smile I didn't think I'd ever see from her.
Breaking into our home, disturbing my love in his sleep. You've upset my Prince Zach. You've really upset him.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for Zach right now.
Hannah?
Panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know. You shouldn't feel this way about anyone you know. But here am I, backing away, trying to keep an ample distance between the two of us. I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. This ain't Hannah. Oh my god. The bars rattle as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance. Not to freedom, but to safety.
Has anyone ever told you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
Nana? Occasionally, my sister.
No.
Hannah? You alright?
She laughs, a deranged little thing coming from her. There's no cheer in it, no warmth, only spite.
Makes me want to take them home, wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity. I'm pretty sure my prince would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me.
I don't think so, girl.
Stay away from me!
She moves in short, sudden bone-crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. I want to look away, but I can't. I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody, get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Dude!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
Dude, what the hell, man? You're supposed to be watching me!
No! She's here! You've gotta let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
Deranged woman. Yeah, I would say she's a deranged woman, Oh my god, she is totally possessed. Achievement unlocked. What beautiful eyes you have. Get a visit from Hannah. What the hell? You've unlocked a memory fragment. What the fuck is happening here? And why is she looking all evil in the back and smiling about what's happening here? What is happening? She's obviously crying. Marianne. Oh my god, I can't believe Zach died. Like, did he die? Hold on, let me see. What? Ending to variant B. So yeah, we gotta get this other one. I think maybe if Hannah isn't possessed, maybe then this is just the regular ghost woman. I don't know. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's different. Maybe he can get out of the situation. It looks like there's a choice here. I'm gonna have to try that. But now, this makes me think, since Hannah's possessed, does she come for other people that are in this game? Like Rebecca and Ashton, does she come for them? Like how she did with Zach? That's what I'm wondering. What's it gonna be, Marianne? To sex or not to sex? Nothing, never, wait, hold on. This is wrong, oops.
We're both drunk.
October 22nd, Saturday. How should I respond? Do you have something to say? I give her time to speak up. October 24th, Monday. What should I do then? Let's check it out. The crash came from the hallway, and I really shouldn't be snooping about. Speaking of which, I have work to do, sir. Straightening my jacket, I clear my throat and look him dead in the eye. Well, yes. Wait, hold on. We can compromise. Let's just say that one. I really wish they didn't look at me like that. This is their decision to make. Which floor should I go first? I return to the present. Just like I said, I try not to dwell on the past. You must have been quite the pair.
You must have been quite the pair, Mrs. Wright.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, hurry, hurry, oh my god, it doesn't work! Oh my god, I need a new freaking keyboard! No! Oh my god, what the frick? Yeah! What the frick? October 26th, Wednesday. I really should move on. No matter how bizarre the conversation might get, I really must go. Is he jealous? Ask if he's alright.
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey? You're looking like you need a serious drink.
October 28th, Friday. I'm surprised that, like, Hannah didn't show up as the ghost or something. Do I leave or do I stay? I want to stay. Rebecca. I want to see what happens when it's just Rebecca and Ashton left, you know, and Luke, I guess. I don't know what happened to Hannah. She's acting so crazy and acting possessed. Sometimes my patience can only be tried for so long. This cold caught up with me.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening.
October 24th, Monday. What should I do? How should I even put it? I'm gonna save real quick. Try to tell him myself. I was the one who found her, the one who saw her first. October 25th, Tuesday. I left the scene as soon as the investigators are done with their questions, but facing it now, I hesitate. I can't sleep. Let me save again. For all my bravado, for all the things I keep telling myself, I don't want to answer that unspoken question in it, nor face his anger and sorrow, or what I will see beyond it. In fact, why not do the most sensible thing right now? Teach him a tough lesson. Shout for help.
Let me go, you uncouth lout!
I need to do some damage control before this thing goes south. Apologize to Luke. Though it pains me to apologize to a sleazebag like him, this is my mistake. With Kylie watching us close by, I don't want to set a bad example for her, do I? October 27th, Thursday. He's childish enough for that, even if what I'm about to say are just mere honest observations. You're good at handling her. Ah, well, regardless of how he reacts, it's not like it'll have an impact on anything between us. Tough choice, but I have to pick one. I have other things to do. Though, when you look at it closely, it isn't such a difficult decision to make. Should I even? Tomorrow afternoon, do you have time? There's nothing wrong with trying, I suppose. October 28th, Friday. Even if doing this has a ring of finality in it. Okay, let's assist Zach this time. Zachary's kind enough to make room when I approach, offering me another one of those tender smiles he never seems to lose before he scoots aside. This one, though, never reaches his eyes, a feeble attempt at keeping cheer. I return it regardless, perhaps in the same half-hearted manner too. If he's noticed, he doesn't comment on it. There's no point in forcing it after all, even if it's for the sake of showing mere pleasantries. Afterwards, we both lapse comfortably into silence, working diligently through the mess of papers and books around us. For a few good minutes, we sort everything into the boxes. This pile will immediately be sent to her family. It's important. A collection of postcards goes in this other box for shipment at a later date. Her younger siblings would love it. Only a few soft grunts and hums are exchanged between us until the minutes blur and we found a rhythm. One that's only broken when Zachary chances upon a huge pile of notebooks under her bed, sketchpads, each one thoroughly used, more than the ones we've gone through earlier. Gingerly, he reaches for one and flips through it. Ooh, achievement unlocked, an artist's secret. Discover Isabella's sketchpad. Each of its page reveals a drawing. Of people or objects, sometimes there would be animals. But in a great number of them, there's us. There's a doodle of Zachary, smiling, one of me looking at a distance, and in a few pages, Ashton. All moments she captured without us knowing. All signed under her name. It hits me as we pore over each pad, and this is one of those things she has never shared before. In the 5 years I've known her, I've never once seen any of these. Just a thoughtful expression while he turns each page with every care in the world, as if he's holding the most precious thing in his hands right now. In the face of it, my own curiosity wins, puts under the guise of a passing comment.
I've never seen these before.
Really?
She did mention that she was an art student.
Before she told me she had to quit school and work, but
Oopsie.
She did mention that she was an art student. Before she had to come here, yes?
I thought the sentence was done, that's why I pressed enter. Oopsie.
I never knew she was this good.
That's alright. I found it by accident too. She didn't want to show me at first. But hey, it's Isabella. All you have to do is bribe her with food. Works every time.
Not all the time. When she puts her mind to it, she's stubborn. But this, I don't know. I guess it bothers me a little that she never talked about this. I mean, look at all of it. I can't even draw anything past stick figures. Had I known, I would have asked for her help on those visual aids for my class.
Maybe that's why she didn't tell you.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing, ma'am. Just pulling your leg. But we were planning an exhibit, you know? She wanted to surprise you guys. It was supposed to happen after the movie and her work with the mansion. I guess that ain't gonna happen now, huh?
The mood shifts then, ever so slightly, utterly unintentional, after all the good humor and rapport we've established. Everything's still too fragile right now, too easily broken. It'll take weeks, perhaps even months or years. Perhaps it'll be one for each day she has spent with us. Still, I try, because this isn't how she'd want us to part with her, if this is what it is. It's not your fault.
Hey, it's not your fault, Zachary. Not anyone's. We had no idea things would turn out the way they did.
A truth, perhaps one of the few I've said since this whole thing began. After all, it's easy to pretend, easy to hide behind false facades, but when has that helped anyone? Zachary seems to think the same thing when he smiles, though I can't quite tell. His half-smiles, of all things about him, are the hardest to read, and it would be too presumptuous of me to assume anything about him. I barely know the man, despite being friends with him for years. What he returns to me, however, what he allows me to see, is a truth of his own. A tough thing to admit, considering the situation.
I know. It's just hard to get used to the idea that she's gone.
Tell me about it. It's like losing a younger sibling I never had.
You and me both.
The soft laughter that follows is an odd thing to hear in the room's dense air, but we let it ring regardless. It's a relief from the gloomy mood, if anything, a tiny measure to prevent the weight of this from crushing all of us. And it works. We lapse into a companionable silence soon after. A rare thing between the two of us, but nevertheless a welcome change. No further words are exchanged after that. He doesn't respond any more than what he has offered, neither am I expecting him to, and perhaps it is for the better. We manage to pack most of Isabella's belongings by the time all of us have to leave for work, but at the threshold we all hesitate. While packing Isabella's things for return to her family, Rebecca and Zachary found a sketchbook she had always kept private. Overcome by a somber mood, Rebecca was quick to remind him that Isabella's death was never his fault. The commotion doesn't go further, despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife too? As if this whole thing can't get any more fucked up than it already is. What a mess. But the damage has been done, and beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hannah. Maybe Luke too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and it is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him, no matter how questionable that is now. After all, no anger is worse than that of a scorned woman. He's lucky, though, that he is not to be the object of it anytime soon. That his wife loves him enough not to believe any of the woman's drunken prattles.
Take that troll up out of here immediately! And see to it that she isn't allowed to hear or anywhere we hold any authority in Luxbourne.
Hannah's outrage is a straight sight to witness after those smiles and the grace she has carried herself through the entirety of the party. Like this, her eyes burning bright with fury, I don't doubt she can do so much more, ruin the scandalous woman if need be. Shaming her is already an act of mercy, generous enough coming from her.
Everyone, please go back to enjoying the party. Don't let that mess of a woman ruin your night.
You heard her! Strike up the band, maestro, and let us dance like fireflies in the night!
Yet, when she turns to Luke, eyes gleaming with hope, something feels off. Something I can't quite place. Hers is not the face of a person who ardently loves. Ardently. There's a lack of tenderness in it, an absence of warmth and sincere affection. It's the kind that constricts, suffocates.
Well, that was a mess, wasn't it? And you handled it magnificently.
It happens. We are very important people, are we not?
No one seems to have noticed it, however, and at their command, music resumes. There's a brief lull, a reluctant pause, before the place comes to stir again, but shortly, the buzz returns to the room. Dancers have once again taken to the floor, and their guests' excited chatter begins anew. Maybe it's just my imagination?
Milady, would you like to dance?
With pleasure, my prince.
The unsettling feeling in my stomach remains, however, even as the strained atmosphere dissolves into merriment. Even as I watch the couple lose themselves in the moment, or the people around them join them in it. It grips me all the more when once I leave the hall, the last glimpse I catch of Hannah is her smile. A thin, unearthly one spreading across her soft features. The porter closes the door behind me with a soft click, but all I hear from it are the chilling whispers. Those that seem to echo along with another familiar grin in my mind. The brush of fresh air against my cheeks does little to dampen the nervous edge in my bones. Away from the rush of the party, I just feel bone tired. It's late, I've accomplished nothing of what I've come here for, and Ashton's nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. Can he at least trust his own friends for that?
He didn't have to lie to me.
He's not even answering his phone. That man has always been difficult to contact when he's out. But you'd think he at least had the decency to keep the lines open if he's going to wander off on a party. One that he happened to attend with his friends at that. I let the call ring for 9 more times before cutting it off. No use trying to find someone who refuses to be found. I can get home on my own. I don't need him. He can just...
Becca, where'd you go off to?
Fuming, patience forgotten, I whirl around and march towards him. It's my turn to frown this time. What does he mean by that? Care to explain your reasons?
Care to explain your reasons?
October 30th, Sunday. Is there even a place safe enough I can escape to? Head for the door. We're gonna be doing Rebecca next, so if there's one, it's out of this room, out of this place, as far away as anyone can get from her. Get her! I don't think twice. Ashton. October 29th, Saturday. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this episode right here. Oh my god, I cannot believe that just opening the hatch made Hannah possessed. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to keep Hannah possessed every time I kill off the rest of the characters, because I want to see if she appears in them like she did with Zach, and then I will, keep Hannah alive. Then I will go on the other path of not opening the hatch and then killing off Rebecca and Ashton and Zach and see what that does, because I want to see that as well. I want to get down those paths that I was showing you earlier. So we're just going to have to see what happens in the next episode. So share the content. If you're enjoying my playthrough of the letter so far, please leave a like. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. And make sure to subscribe and click that bell button so you know when I upload the next episode of the letter. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great night. Bye.